I am a full-time artist and this is what I do in a day's work. I started the day by spending $7 on a punnet of strawberries. They were the only ones left without mold on them, so I take that as a win. You'll see why I need them in just a sec. I roll out my clay and then shape it around this ball of foil, and then using a paintbrush I put dimples in it like the skin of a strawberry. I shave the pigment off some old pastels and then brush it on using a makeup brush. I find this leaves less streaks than a regular paintbrush. And this is where those strawberries come back into the picture. I carefully remove the leaves, getting rid of the fruity bits, and then imprint it onto my clay. I then cut it out and use my powder to brush the edges off the leaves. I just about passed out from concentration cutting out these seeds. They were so tiny. I give it one last coat of gloss and it's done. Then I move on to packing my sticker orders. This is the first batch of stickers I've ever released and your reaction has been so positive, so thank you. I start painting my slices of toast. I'm also going to make some fake Nutella and spread that on top, and then put my fake strawberries on top of that, so it's a complete sculptured meal. There will be other toast toppings as well. I finish off this commission painting for the most wonderful client and then start making pizza dough for dinner. And you might not know this about me, but I also have a bakery store at my local market. I grab some rocket, capsicum and chili from our garden and call it a day.
I really love the lemon and orange designs I did on my plates in the pottery painting cafe, so I want to put them on coasters. So I used some air dry clay to make the coasters and then just copied over the design. These actually turned out really cute, so let me know if you want me to do the orange one as well. I just did the lemon as like a little taster to see if I liked it, and they turned out so good. However, the Mod Podge doesn't really cut it. I feel like I could not put a hot drink on this, so if you know what I can use instead, please let me know.
Yes, I always use dirt clay. Just add water. Mix it up. Throw it in the microwave to get all the particles lined up. And it's ready. Now I just have to throw a cup. Yay, dirt clay.
We tried air clay for the first time, and here's how it went. I didn't really know anything apart that you need water to soften any texture and to bound two pieces of clay together. So today I'm doing a few candle holders that are super easy to make. The first one is a little flower, so I cut that shape out and then made a ball for the bulb. So to bound the two pieces together, you want to score each side and add lots of water. The second candle holder is very straightforward. It's basically just a round base, and then I tried different ways of making a cylinder, but this is just the way that worked for me. Then I used lots of water and this little shaping tool to soften each piece. The last one is definitely my favorite. It's more of an organic and unique shape. So I just molded it to the size of the candle and then used a small tool, but you could use like a pen to create these little indentations around the base. Overall, this was a really fun process just because you don't need that many tools. So let me know if you'd like to see them painted for part 2.
Absolutely. I wanted to create one of these flower mirrors for Aria because they are just so cute, super fun, super cute. I mixed in some foam clay and acrylic together. Any color will do. I did so many different colors, got the whole team involved. Of course, my dad was on cutting, my mum was on rolling the perfect shaped balls every single time, and we did this as a family. It was so cute. Aria picked out her first flower, which was green and white, and this is what it looked like. You basically just squish them together and they kind of stick, and then I used Gorilla Glue and glued them on to this mirror that I had, and I just think this will look so pretty in the nursery just for Aria. I just think it's just so cute, so beautiful, and what a lovely thing to do all together as well.
It's time for your clay lesson of the day. Today we're making a gingham pattern. To start, you'll need white clay and 2 shades of the same color. I'm using yellow obviously because it's my favorite. The secret to my straight lines is the attachment on this pasta machine. I highly recommend this pasta machine, and I use the attachment all the time. You can find it in my Amazon storefront. And then I make 2 groups with the stripes. The first with white and the lighter shade of the color, the second with the lighter shade and the darker shade. The next part is the most difficult just because it takes a while to line everything up perfectly. But all you need to do is cut a row from each of your groups and line them on top of each other in an alternating pattern. So first I cut out a row from my group with white and the lighter shade of yellow, and I place it on top of the row of the lighter shade and the darker shade. And you just keep alternating it like this over and over again until you get the size of slab that you want. You can see here I'm doing this one in real time, and I kind of slowly attach it as I go along, so I make sure every single square is lined up exactly where I want it to be. So I'd say my straight lines are a combination of using the pasta machine to get straight stripes and then careful cutting with my blade to get straight squares. And ta-da! That is how we make gingham. Let me know if there's any other clay tricks you want to learn, and happy making!
This air dry clay cost me like $4 to make, and it's my new favorite clay to work with. It's called cold porcelain, and it's made out of glue, cornstarch, white vinegar, and olive oil. It's extremely durable and easy to work with, plus you're going to have to apply a lot of Vaseline to your hands as part of this process, so you'll come away moisturized and glowing. Here's how you do it. Mix equal parts glue and cornstarch in a plastic, microwave-safe container using a silicone or plastic spoon. Add a dash of white vinegar and a dash and a half of olive oil. You can be kind of loosey-goosey with the measurements. Mix it up, trying to get all the lumps out. If you don't get them out now, don't worry, you'll be able to work out more lumps later. Microwave it for 30 seconds and stir. Microwave for another 30 seconds and stir again. Keep doing this until the mixture begins to stick more to itself than to the sides of the container. This could take a while, so be patient. Tape down some saran wrap and lather it in Vaseline. Make sure the clay has cooled before you do this next part. Slather your hands in Vaseline as well to keep the clay from sticking to you. Don't hold back on this. Go a little wild, get a little nasty. Place the clay on the saran wrap and begin kneading it for about 20 to 30 minutes and reapply Vaseline as needed. This is the consistency you're going for. If you keep the clay wrapped in saran wrap and tucked in an airtight container, it'll stay workable for a long time. Now you can make things like little ocean blorbs. Make sure to keep your finished projects away from water or seal them with something like clear nail polish and have fun.
Clay food is my new thing. Making sourdough had a chokehold on me for a while there, so I'm going to try and make sourdough toast out of clay. Okay, imagine this. You've got sourdough toast, then thick cut slices of mozzarella, fat tomato slices, and then basil on top. These tomatoes took me for an absolute ride. I thought they were going to be enjoyable. No. Just look how disgusting and rotten and moldy that paint job looks, and I didn't even realize it at the time, so I kept going as if nothing was wrong, pouring my varnish into it, and then I individually made these little tomato seeds, suspended them into the varnish. Like an idiot, I didn't realize the inside of tomato is not even clear, so I stained my varnish orange, then redid the inside, and this is finally what it came out looking like. Oh, this is after I repainted it too. Then I painted the sourdough, trying to make it look like it's been in a toaster, and I also made the mozzarella circles, painted them white. Then I made these basil leaves and with my grubby little fingers drew lines on them with a pin. I balanced all the different components on top of each other, and yes, using tweezers did make me feel like a chef. Like how they tweeze little microgreens onto their organic scobies. This is how it looked at the end. I am so stoked. Oh, did I mention it's an incense holder? That's why it's got a hole in a tomato. And this is it with the incense.
Okay, here is a quick voiceover tutorial of my beach on a canvas. I just took some dark blue and green blue with some white acrylic paint, and on a mop brush I just went back and forth on my canvas from the corner. Look how I'm doing wavy strokes to mimic waves. And I went about halfway down the canvas. Then I cleaned my brush and I got some white and tan sand-colored acrylic paint and went back and forth the same way the rest of the way down to the other corner. Then I took some white paint and a smaller brush and just filled in the gap between the water and the sand to kind of mimic the froth that comes up on the beach. So you can see the blue shining through where I blended it in. Then I took some Mod Podge, which is just fancy glue, and I poured it onto where the sand color was after it dried, and took a not so nice brush because the glue can mess up your really good brushes, but I smoothed that around. My Mod Podge was a little old, you can see kind of the chunks, but it needed used up. And don't forget to get around your edges if you have a wrap-around canvas, like that. Then I took a container of sand. You can get this from Michael's or any craft store. And I just spread it around on the glue with my hand, making sure I covered all the parts I wanted to have a sand texture. And then just lift it up slightly to tap off the excess. You can then tap your edges in the little pile of sand that goes on the edge. Then I took a palette knife with some just gloss heavy gel. Now this is a gel that dries clear, but it gives you a texture. See how it looks white on the waves there? Now you could tint it a white to stay that color, but I think having it dried clear looks sometimes a little bit more natural. And don't forget the froth along the edge. And see, look, it dried clear, so I'm taking a brush and dry brushing it on over top of the texture just to make it look a little bit more realistic. Then I took a fine sea sponge, actually, with a little bit of white paint, and you just bounce it like a bunny along the edge, and that gives you a really fun frothy texture. Just like that, I went all the way along the edge, bouncing it. Look how fun. To finish off the edging, I took some white puffy paint and just used that right along where the sand meets the waves. I think that made it look a little bit more finished, so I went all the way around the edge. And then to top it off, you can't forget seashells. Look at all these fun ones I have. You could take ones from a fun family vacation you had this year and make a nice memento from them, making your own beach to hang on the wall. And I hot glued each one of them in place along the sandy area. So yeah, they all stuck with the hot glue. And there you go. There is a beach on a canvas. Let me know if you try it out. I'd love to see how they turn out. I have mine hanging in my studio, at least until winter hits.